Ah, Grace, you're back. That's good. I was just about to call you.
He means he wants me to call you, because Paul here still hasn't figured out how to use a phone.
That's not true. I know how, I just don't like them. They're confusing. Anyhow, I've been contemplating our list of suspects, and I think Pan is someone we need to consider.
Why Pan? I thought you'd rejected him as a suspect.
Persephone did, but I've had time to think it over. Pan is a schemer, a traitor in favors. He always has been. His sudden appearance in all this cannot be coincidental.
You think he could have killed Calliope after all?
Perhaps. Or he knows who did and is trying to turn it to his benefit. He always knows more than he pretends.
Wait. You don't like phones?
I just don't like talking to people I can't see.
No, it's the ringtones. They scare the crap out of him, I kid you not.
I'm not frightened. Only a child would be frightened. They're just very loud.
Yeah.
Can we return to the subject of Pan, please?
Let me offer an alternative to your Pan theory. What about Medusa?
Medusa? What have you been up to, Grace?
Right, let me explain.
Well, if Asterion is right, then Medusa was at the reliquary at the same time as Calliope. I take it you intend to seek out Medusa.
You think I shouldn't? How else will I find out why she was there?
I wouldn't suggest seeking her out, no. There must be other ways to ascertain how she's involved. Pan is, I believe, still worth looking into. He may even know something about Medusa. Aphrodite is holding a party of sorts, one you should attend. She is closest to Pan. Indeed, she knows almost all the idols. If anyone is up to something, she's bound to know.
You know Aphrodite better than I do. Can't you talk to her?
Well, talking to Aphrodite isn't something anyone does with much success these days.
Well, if that's the case, what makes you think I'll get anywhere?
There's a standing invitation for the Muse to attend this party. Calliope never went, so Aphrodite will be thrilled to see you. Trust me. If I thought you couldn't get her to talk, I wouldn't suggest it.
What do you mean by a party of sorts? I mean, I'm always down for a party, but...
It's more of a remembrance than a party, really. It's difficult to describe.
That's awfully vague, Apollo.
It'll be easier to see for yourself. It's nothing you can't handle.
Wouldn't it be better if I checked out Medusa instead?
Trust me, this will be safer.
I'm not helpless, you know.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just suggesting you go to this party first.
Okay, I'll go. Eventually.
Perfect. I will see you there.
Paul, you should see this. The names you wanted me to look up are getting weird results.
I don't doubt it. I was hoping you could...
Get over here!
No worries, Paul. I'll see you later.
Hey, so what's the news, Miss Muse?
Miss Muse.
Well, does a muse have a proper form of address? I just want to hear what exciting adventures you've been having. Everything else okay, though? Do we know who the killer is yet?
Not just yet, no.
Okay, well, let me know if there's anything I can do. If I have to hustle to become your high priestess, well, so be it.
What are Kaz and Brian up to? You didn't tell them anything, did you?
No, I told them you came home, that you're okay, but that you're having a moment. They send their love.
Should we tell them, do you think?
What for? They have their own problems. Plus, Brian can't keep a secret to save his life, and Kaz is officially homeless.
Is he still crashing on Brian's couch?
Grace, you do know that Brian doesn't have a couch, right? Just some giant beanbag things?
Then where is Kaz Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cute. They'll tell us when they're ready. But right now, it's best just to not mix them up in this.
I should really apologize about the band. This kind of puts a dent in your plans, doesn't it?
You're right, Grace. How dare you sabotage my dreams? I am so mad I could spit.
You know what I mean. Nobody could have seen this coming, sure, but it's always been something with me.
Well, as I see it, there are two ways this goes down. One, neither of us gets back to the band. It was just a thing we did for a while before I founded a cult in your name. Or two, we get back to it and the band now has the Muse as its lead singer. Edge of Elysium becomes the coolest and most appropriate band name ever.
Ugh, I still really hate that name.
Look, Grace, you can't be the source of all the drama and name the band, okay? That's the rule.
You know what I find weird? That the idols have managed to remain completely secret all these years. Sure, they have magic and whatnot, but in all this time, nobody's found them out? Athena is that good?
Who says nobody has found them out? The way I see it, it's like UFOs.
Okay, I have to hear this.
Okay, so you could have real evidence that UFOs exist and that governments have covered it up and people still wouldn't believe it. Why? Because they'd get laughed at if they admitted it. Imagine the headline. Greek gods exist and are living among us. What website would even run that?
Weird conspiracy ones. Yeah, you're right. Exactly how much do you know about the Greek gods, Freddy?
I know my Greek mythology, but what I've read clearly doesn't line up with who they are today. Or who they ever were, maybe.
Still might be useful. There's gotta be some truth to those stories, right?
Maybe? Who do you want to hear about?
Do you know anything about the Muses? Or Calliope in particular?
Yeah, for starters, there were supposed to be 9. Though I guess there are some sources that said there were only 4, maybe 3. Each of the muses had her specialty. Did you know that Calliope is supposed to be the muse of epic poetry? She inspired the Odyssey.
Wow, I don't even like poetry.
Yeah, it was said her singing voice was unmatched. So they got that part right, at least.
Did she also lead the ancient Greeks in giant choreographed dance numbers?
No, but she once turned a bunch of snobby princesses into magpies, so there's that.
What about Athena? Is she really supposed to be the goddess of wisdom?
Sure, but mostly that's meant as tactical knowledge. Athena wasn't all sweetness and light. She was a warrior goddess. She was also the goddess of heroes. There are loads of stories where Athena helps guys like Odysseus or Jason or Perseus.
No female heroes back in those days?
Yeah, guess not. Women were the weaker sex, which maybe is why Athena was portrayed as being vindictive. She cursed Medusa, one of her own priestesses. She turned people into spiders, struck them blind, started the Trojan War. It's the whole thing.
Not being as wise as advertised is on brand for her, then. What about Apollo?
Okay, so the prophecy stuff checks out. Apollo was god of the sun and light, but also kind of enlightenment in general. He's always talked about as this beautiful and cultured god involved with the arts and the muses, kind of a Renaissance man before the Renaissance.
He's clearly had a rough time since those days.
Well, he was also a giant horn dog, Grace. I can list off like a dozen men and women Apollo has had as lovers, and there's probably more.
Weren't they all like that, though?
I mean, Apollo's no Zeus. He never assaulted anyone as a swan. And no, they aren't all like that. Our sun god had a reputation.
Tell me what you know about Persephone.
Honestly, she's the least like her stories. Usually, she's either a victim or just the wife of Hades, or both.
And that's it? She was kidnapped by Hades, end of story?
Pretty much. Her mother was so angry she created winter. But otherwise, Persephone was just your average sweet and virginal fertility goddess.
You're right, that doesn't sound like her at all.
Must be hard to be defined by this one thing that happened to you thousands of years ago. I'd be pissed if everyone thought my story ended there.
Well, she is pretty pissed. That much is true. You said Pan was some kind of lust god, right?
Yeah, kind of. Pan's a god of the wild, and I guess that translates into a sort of lustfulness and earthiness, humping nymphs in the forest sort of thing.
And you don't like him.
Honestly, he's exactly what I'd expect him to be. All the stories say he's a lech and a beast. The Christians equated him with the devil. Weirdly, he's also the only god who's supposed to have died, though it's never really clear how or why. Anyhow, there's a great statue depicting Pan having sex with a goat. Next time you see him, you gotta ask him about it.
Just how many of these gods are there? From what I've heard, lots of idols live around here.
Well, there are tons of minor gods in Greek mythology, hundreds even, depending on how you define them. Oddly, there's never any mention of the word idols in relation to them. Maybe it's like how people worshipped idols?
I sort of assumed it was related to the eidolon.
Which is a Greek word, but I think it means ghost. An image of someone after they die.
Makes sense.
Me? I'm more amazed at all the big names missing. Not just Zeus and Hades, most of the Olympians seem to be gone. Makes you think about what's been lost, but also what might still be out there.
I wonder how much of those stories are true.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm giving you the quick version. There are reams of textbooks out there covering all this, but even they rarely agree with each other.
Really? Nothing definitive?
Ancient Greece was 3,000 years ago, Grace. Not much information survived all that time, if it was even valid to begin with.
Okay, that's enough questions for now.
You sure? I can talk all day. You know I can.
I'll check back with you soon, Freddy. Time for more mystery solving. Fancy party? Check. Bunch of strangers? Check. Grace totally not dressed for the occasion? Check. Now, if only I knew what I was supposed to be doing here.
Grace, you made it. I'm so glad. I was beginning to wonder.
You didn't say this was a fancy party. I feel a little underdressed.
Grace, look at me. I didn't even button up my shirt. It's fine.
Why is everyone so quiet? You'd think someone died.
I should have told you about this earlier. I've been putting it off.
I don't like the sound of that. What am I missing?
You don't have any of Calliope's memories, right? No deja vu, recollections that aren't your own?
No. Should I have?
Not right away. For a while, you won't remember anything. We call it the veil. In time, the veil will start to lift, slowly at first, but eventually you'll remember almost everything Calliope did.
Seems like the sort of thing you should tell a new idol.
New idols are usually chosen. You would know about this already, except
Except Calliope was murdered.
remember how old we all are. There are so many memories, so the veil lifts gradually to protect you. Eventually, it's like a flood. It becomes difficult to separate what's you and what's them, and all who came before them.
I have a hard time believing I'll forget who I am.
You won't stop being you. You'll just also be everyone else who isn't you.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
I understand. Take some time to let it sink in. If you like, we can talk about it later.
What does this have to do with the party?
Aphrodite hasn't been the same since we came to the New World. She has horrific memories of what she endured during the war. Passing on her eidolon is a way to forget, for a while. That's what this party is for.
When you say she's gonna pass on her eidolon, you mean...
She's going to die, yes, and pass her soul on to a chosen successor.
in front of everyone?
We're here to help, Grace, to make it easier for Aphrodite to do what she feels she must. We're here to say goodbye. At least for a while.
Okay, so what did Aphrodite want Calliope to do? What did she want me to do?
Well, knowing Aphrodite, she'll want you to make a production of it all. She's not here just yet. Until she arrives, I suggest mingling.
Mingling.
Yeah, mingling. Talk to Eros. Or we can talk more if you like. Just try to relax, Grace.
Sure, yeah. Relax. That's what this party is for, right?
Grace!
Hey, Eros. Nice to... Oh. Okay.
Aphrodite will be so happy you're here. It means so much, you have no idea.
Apollo told me. Calliope always refused to come to these things, right?
Yeah, no matter how much Aphrodite begged. Every time she does this, I don't know how to handle it. I almost want to run upstairs and demand she stop. Remind her that this never works. Sorry, I shouldn't unload on you. It's been a bad week.
From the sounds of it, this happens a lot.
Every 20 years or so. That's how long she can hold out until she just can't stand it anymore. Every time, Aphrodite forgets. At least for a while. But I don't. I remember everything. I'm there for the nightmares, the panic attacks, the days she doesn't even remember the war's over. And now I'm arranging her gathering again, so she can die again. And I'll watch it all again.
Is it okay if I ask what happened? I don't mean to pry, but I'm new. I really don't know.
I know, but it happened to Aphrodite, not me. It's not my story to tell.
If it's as painful to Aphrodite as it sounds, asking her about it seems like the last thing I should do.
No, you're right. Don't do that. What happened is that Brother Ares happened. He missed out on the first world-spanning war, you see, so he was damned if he'd miss out on the next one. He found some jack-booted mortals, so full of themselves and their supremacy, and he told them about the idols. Then they came for us. Took us completely by surprise. Some they killed, but Aphrodite, her they captured.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Aphrodite was captured, but she's here now. So she must have escaped.
She didn't. Do you know the name Hephaestus?
No. Should I?
God of smiths. He could make anything, any tool or weapon. He was Aphrodite's husband, and he adored her. When he found out the mortals were torturing her, he went mad. He was determined to save her.
Wait, they tortured her?
Nothing extreme, I'm told. They were too frightened, but they were also determined to wring every last secret out of her. So, who knows how long that fear would have lasted. Thus, Hephaestus made a deal.
With the, jackbooted guys.
No, with their enemies. That's what saved her.
Then this deal is how Aphrodite survived.
It's how we all survived. It's what brought us to the new world. Hephaestus saved us all. We never saw him again. That was the deal. He would leave, make their precious weapons, and never look back. Aphrodite never even got to say goodbye. It's funny, Because Aphrodite didn't even like Hephaestus when they were married. She seemed to resent every minute they were together. But now he's all she can think about.
What is my part in all of this? I'll help if I can.
Aphrodite loves drama. She always has. She wants us here to remember, to celebrate our history. She'll ask you to use your power as part of the celebration. Could you use it to inspire her?
I can't force anyone to do anything they don't want to, Eros.
That's not what I'm asking. I believe that, deep down, she doesn't want to do this any longer. She must see it isn't working. She just needs the strength to try. Or I hope that's all she needs.
It's not up to me, Eros. I can't make that decision for her.
I know. Neither can I. I was only hoping Aphrodite could make that decision for herself, if she was inspired.
I don't know.
It's a lot to ask. I'll understand if you can't. All I want, one way or another, is to get through tonight.
I know all these people, Grace. For as long as I can remember, I've known them. Yet sometimes I feel like I don't know any of them at all. Or they me.
You don't enjoy these family gatherings, do you?
Are they family gatherings? Like the sort mortals have?
You call each other sister and brother and mother.
Well, yes, but...
And you've been together like 100 times longer than I lived with my family. All you're missing is a drunk uncle everyone has to apologize for.
That would be Pan. But yes, I feel very much out of place.
Why is that exactly? Wouldn't you feel more like you belonged after 1,000 years together?
Is your assumption that all those centuries bring great wisdom?
Don't they?
We get older. We have more to forget. We hold grudges longer. But wiser? No. Not so far.
I spoke to Eros. He's pretty broken up over all this.
Oh, poor Eros. Each new successor, his hopes rise up once more. And then he watches the new Aphrodite crumble. Piece by piece. Only to start all over again. It's so different from the olden days. Once he was the eternal disaster, and Aphrodite kept constant vigil over him.
Maybe he feels like he owes her.
I think he's followed her into a dark void, and somewhere, deep down, believes he deserves no better.
I should get back out there.
My family. Having you all here, gathered once again to see me off, it moves me more than I can say. My loves, my darlings, my dearest friends. And you. Oh, my dear sweet thing. I dare not hope that you, with all your troubles, might sing me to my sleep. Yet here you are. Yet here she is.
It's lovely to meet you, Aphrodite. Properly, this time.
Ah, yes. Poor Calliope. Such a loss to us all. I shall miss her dearly. To have come so far, only... No, it doesn't bear thinking about. It's too much.
Is this Grace, my lady? The new muse?
Oh, what manners I have. Grace, Grace, meet the lovely mortal woman who shall tonight become the new me.
Hi, my name's Venus, and yes, it really is Venus. Nice to meet you, Grace.
Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you.
We'll both be new at this, huh? Maybe we could get together and compare notes if you,
Survived my trial.
Yeah. Lady Aphrodite told me. I shouldn't have brought that up. I'm sorry.
There will be so much time for you lovelies to speak later. Now, we must prepare for my departure.
Are you sure we can't talk first? I really need your help, Aphrodite.
I know you do, my dear. I wish I could be there for you, but I'm afraid my time is up. But since you've shown such kindness in coming, I will ask Eros to make himself available to you afterwards. There's nothing I know that he does not. He is my son, my truest friend, my longest love.
Won't he be a little distracted?
Eros has been through this before, Grace. He knows what must be done.
Are you sure you want to go through with this? I mean, you seem okay.
Oh, thank you. I'm pleased to hear that my smile is still convincing.
Oh, I didn't mean to say it wasn't. It's just... This is a lot, isn't it?
Oh, is that a note of disapproval I hear?
It's not really my place to approve or disapprove, I guess.
I understand and I appreciate your concern, but I don't want tonight to be about my pain. So I have nothing but smiles and love for all my family. Now, do you know the true purpose of this gathering? Have any of them told you?
I don't know. You like parties? Seems like a great excuse for one.
Oh, I do like parties. The orgies of Rome were... they were exquisite. A sea of flesh and sweat and delights for every sense. Or perhaps it was a pleasant dream I once had. I can no longer tell. Tonight isn't about frivolity. Oh no. It's about honoring the memory of what once was while I yet retain it. Go! Enjoy the gathering, Grace! Tell me when you're ready to begin.
I want to apologize again, Grace. I really messed up. It looks like I'll be doing that a lot. Lady Aphrodite said I'm ready, but I don't know.
Being a god isn't something you can really be ready for.
I mean, you are not gods, though. Are you? Not really.
You don't think so?
To me, you all just seem like people. Special people, sure, but flawed and lost, like the rest of us. If I can ask, what does it feel like after it happens? Do you feel different?
Not really. I still felt like me, if that's what you're asking.
You didn't remember anything? About her? Who she was? She was just gone?
Yeah. Isn't that the point of all this?
I just wanted to be sure. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it could be real.
How do you know Aphrodite exactly?
So I was working at this homeless shelter, right? A couple of years ago, and she came in with one of the older residents. And she was there in this, like, amazing dress. And she's sitting with this guy and really listening to him. Like, they were old friends or something. I just thought, what is someone like her doing in a place like this? So, I just went over and introduced myself.
That's it? Just like that?
Yeah. She came back to the shelter a few times, but by then, I guess she'd taken an interest in me instead.
Are you really okay with all this? You know what's gonna happen, right?
I saw a lot of people in crisis at the shelter. I knew something was wrong with Lady Aphrodite. She's in so much pain, Grace. She won't let you see how much. Eros called me one night desperate. She wouldn't stop screaming. She didn't know where she was. She's a good person, Grace. A good soul. She deserves mercy.
I get that you want to help Aphrodite, but do you really want to be her? To be an idol?
At first I thought, wow, this is too good to be true. Who wouldn't want to be a god? Later I realized they're not all powerful. They don't know everything. They're lost. Do I want to be that? Will I be that when the memories return? I don't know.
So why go through with it?
Because Lady Aphrodite needs me. Maybe, just maybe, if I'm added into the mix of all the people she's been, maybe things will be different.
I have tried so hard, fought for so long, but in the end, I must bid you all farewell once again. But before I go, I would like us all to remember the sacrifices that brought us here to this strange new world. This time, it is with the help of our lovely muse that we shall be guided. We let them rise. We let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong. Since the beginning we were hidden. We held court from up above. 'Twas the golden age of reason, and I the queen of love. But a plague of hate was spreading, and there were vultures standing by. Before we fell to our knees begging, we fell from the sky. We let them rise, we let it happen. We waited far too long. We thought we shouldn't intervene. We were wrong. We were wrong. We sought shelter from the shadows, but were soon ripped from the dark. Those mortal souls that ended us were jealous from the start. They hunted me for power to fuel their psychopathic cause. And once they fell before me and worshipped all I was, they chased me down and threw me in a cage, held me prisoner for so long. I thought I'd win their hearts again. I was wrong. I was wrong. I see you have the power. It's a poisonous reward. My virtues only scorn me when I was once adored, loved by every mortal, then ripped from paradise. No one suffered greater till he made his sacrifice. The man that I ignored saved me when I fell. Yes, the husband I abhorred rescued from hell. I thought it was a joke when it was said to me. He struck a deal with our enemy's enemy, made a secret weapon so my captors let me go. He gave up his freedom, leaving just a memory, and this love I'll never know is what he gave to me.
I gotta say that I'm amazed I held my tongue for so long. Not such a fan of this old plan, but who's to say that you're wrong? Now shoulda gotta erase a memory when there's no chance of changing history. This guy that sacrificed his life so you can live in his place, wish he'd drop by, cause man, I'd die to see the look on his face. You try to hide from your reality, but then come back with regularity. And if you notice a disparity, then what's the meaning of his legacy? Everybody. Who gives a damn about your suffering? Everybody. Who wants to see you be yourself again? Everybody. Who feels your pain in case you're wondering? Everybody. You got the time, but it's the stuttering. Everybody wants to see you fall in love.
Is it what we do now? That morons moralize, they beat through their mouths, how could they sympathize? Please, just shut it, or rain down from above, hate flooded into the drains. I feel nothing of love, only the fear of the chains. Over long forgotten stains, it's not my blood inside these veins, only human remains. Calling forth. Everybody knows my pain is insurmountable. Everybody fights your attitude detestable. Everybody wants to hold themselves accountable. Everybody have you something more suggestible. Everybody wants to see you fall in love.
Can't help myself, feels like I'm too involved. So you'll reawaken while this girl dissolves. Tell me, how would your husband choose to celebrate you? Would he do what you do? Have you thought that through? Everybody can feel the agony that's hidden there. Everybody can see the shallow grave we're digging here. Everybody, should we endure? Should we interfere? Everybody, should I be part of this or disappear? Everybody wants to see you fall in love.
Everybody, who's gonna help me overcome the war? Everybody, who's gonna be there when I'm on the floor? Everybody, who's gonna cry when I walk out the door? Everybody, cause I'm not gonna do this anymore. Everybody wants to see you, wants to see you fall in love again.
Mother, is it true? You've chosen to.
Live. I have chosen to live. I'm so sorry, Venus. I made you so many promises, dearest, and I won't be able to keep them.
My lady, all I ever wanted was for you to be happy. If this is your wish, I'll be with you at every step.
I as well. Always.
I hope none of us regret this choice in the days to come. But thank you.
It has to be better than doing the same thing over and over.
Does it? It could also be far worse.
Don't talk like that, Mother. We can fight this.
I'm so very tired, my loves, but I will. I'll try. Now then, Grace. You needed my help. No doubt regarding Calliope's death? Have you any suspicions as to who might be responsible?
Medusa, possibly. She followed Calliope to the reliquary the night of the murder.
So that's where she went.
Calliope came to see us that night. She was agitated, frightened even, but she wouldn't explain why.
She said she had a plan. It must have been the reliquary.
She was frightened, so she knew this was gonna happen. It wasn't a surprise.
Unless she was talking about something else.
That seems unlikely, love. If only we'd known she intended to go to the reliquary, of all places!
I thought she meant, one of her usual plans.
I'm afraid I can't offer much help, Grace. Few have access to the reliquary. I certainly do not, and I don't know who does. If Medusa was there, I'd ask her why and how. There are always motives lurking within her motives.
Come now, Mother. It's time you rested. It's been a long night.
If I don't, I suppose you'll both gang up on me again. Very well.
So, did they have anything helpful? I see. Then you still intend to seek her out.
I have to. How else will I find out what she knows?
I still don't like it. Athena employs Medusa as a spy master of sorts. She works from the shadows. I don't actually know where she is. I'll see if I can find out. But it won't be a simple matter. You should probably ask around. Are you all right, Grace? You seem troubled.
I'm fine. It's just a lot to consider.
A lot to consider, she says. Only the nature of immortality. A fine evening's work.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
So, I have a question. I had an encounter with Pan before the gathering, and he spoke of you fondly. Am I correct in believing there's something there?
Maybe? Yes? I don't know. It's confusing. And I think he likes that.
It's none of my business, but no matter what I've said of Pan, his feelings run deep.
Oh.
Don't underestimate him, but also don't write him off. Not yet, anyhow.
This must be the Viper's Nest. Scariest part of town, no sign. Just that one dude glaring at everyone. Well, I'm here now. Just another day in the life of an idol.
Grace, of all the places to run into a friend.
Pan, what are you doing here?
I'm the one who told you about this place. You didn't expect my curiosity to get the better of me?
You aren't just curious, Pan. Why are you really here? The truth this time.
I need to have some dastardly ulterior motive other than to be of assistance. For shame, Grace.
Uh-huh.
It's true. I am a bad man, and I spoke poorly. I did not, however, want you wandering into this without advice.
Medusa is the one who turns people into stone just by looking at them, right?
People, yes. Idols, not so much. Or that's my assumption. I'll admit to not knowing if she's ever turned her gaze on one of us.
I could go in there and boom, statue time?
Maybe. Probably not.
If you have any advice, Pan, I'm all ears.
Well, I assume you know how Medusa became what she is.
Apollo mentioned it, yeah.
It is a sad, sad tale. Athena cursed her. A travesty of justice if there ever was one. Thing is, Athena no longer has the power to undo the curse. Or so she says. What I'm trying to say is that Medusa is not happy about it. Perhaps that's something you can use.
Apollo said she's some kind of spy master for Athena. Is that right?
A truer description, I'd say, is that she's more Athena's servant. Poor thing can't survive on her own. So she's become whatever Athena needs. Spy master, enforcer, provider of garden statuary.
She sounds terrifying.
More importantly, Grace, she's clever. Medusa will be no simple target.
Medusa's clever and works for Athena, but what's she really like?
She doesn't exactly come to the parties, Grace. Medusa is an enigma to most of us. If idols hide in the shadows, she lurks in even darker places. She's an outsider, and she loathes us as much as she needs us.
Is she dangerous?
Let's just say we're all rather relieved she stays away.
Okay, enough talking. Time to do this.
See? That's the spirit. Now there's simply the matter of getting you in before she's aware you're here.
And you'll help me with that?
As best I can, certainly. Though I do hope you have some kind of plan. A word of advice before we proceed. Once you find Medusa, make the number a knockout.
You didn't have to follow me up here.
Nonsense. I'm helping.
Well, can you help me pick the lock on this skylight?
Do I look like some vagabond cat burglar? It's bad enough I scuffed my trousers during the climb. Far be it for me to question you, Grace, but are you certain this is wise? I rather thought we would use our wits to gain entry.
I don't recall you having any suggestions, Pan.
You were so eager to start climbing the walls, I didn't want to discourage your vigor.
Plus, you wanted to stare at my butt on the way up.
I can make the best of any situation.
And there we go. Coming?
We're both going to regret this.
Probably. Let's split up and look around.
What a long day, hiding in the light. Such a long day, dreaming of tonight. This sacred bite. Hello, who's that there? You've messed up my flow. Just get your drink, girl, and take your seat. Oh, it's the muse. There are sacred bites, and then there's this sacred bite. So wrong, so right. I'm really gonna myself tonight.
Right, let's play. I'm sure you can bite, okay. But you get a fight today. You're fighting Grace this time. And this time's mine. This time.
For
is mine.
centuries, these heroes got sent to me. Each one of them bent to me.
Not meant to be this time.
This time
time and all time.
This time's mine.
This time's mine, this time just
This
like
time
every time. Is mine. Now look into me. Your body goes freely every time as it tenders, turning gently as it renders. What'd you say, Grace? You okay, Grace? Where's the game face this time? You are currently experiencing something I like to call the preparation. Any questions or comments? That's right, it is widely known that I can turn folks to stone. But oh, I won't this time. Cause this time I find dine that oozy musey bloods my wine this time. Look into me. Oh, she's looking away. Hey, look
You flipped that hood.
me.
Then out came the snakes. Oh, you're so good. Finally, some stakes. Oh, the ice thing. What a difference an actual monster makes. Athena made you like this.
She was mad at me. So
Well, why was she mad?
she said I'd been bad.
Had you been?
No. Now look into me.
Listen, Medusa. She's ashamed of what you do, but she never stops using you. Hey, I'd be a monster too. I'd be like you, big time. And it's time to realize you're the victim of a
You're
crime.
lost, little girl. No more Hail Marys. We both know the victims, you, the monsters, me.
You don't know, you don't know.
Do know that you didn't.
Kill Calliope. So you know that it's true that I didn't do it.
No.
Yes, you do know, you know. Does that mean Athena knows?
No. Fine grace. I'll tell you
I'm what? Bait? Not the feature show. Come on, try. Let's go.
Stop it. Stop it, Pan. You have no right to interfere.
It's been a long time since I played these. Good to know the old pipes are still warm.
Good timing, Pan.
That's me. Good timing, impeccable taste.
Begone, pest. How dare you invade my sanctum?
Oh, I see. Would you prefer I resume playing?
You ready to talk?
Fine. Fine. What exactly is it that you want, pretty muse?
Oh, come on. You really can't guess? You're smarter than that.
Blast! This is why I didn't tell Lady Athena. I knew it would come back to haunt me. I only followed pretty Calliope to the reliquary. I never spoke to her, never even caught up to her. I swear it.
But you were there that night.
Yes, yes, I admit it. Ugh, Lady Athena will have my head. She'll mount it on a pike. Whatever you might think of me, I had no part in the muse's death. I did not even know she'd been attacked until I saw her fleeing.
Asterion said he caught up with you out in the fog. Is that right?
I thought he was the one who had attacked her. He is a great beast of a creature.
Oh, that seems rather unlikely. The bull's as gentle as a lamb.
Yes, I had only realized my mistake once I caught up to him, and by then the muse was gone.
And you never found her afterwards?
I thought she might flee to her pretty home, or to the sharp and prickly Persephone, but she did neither.
Yeah, she came to see me. Why should we believe you? You did just try to eat me, remember?
I am telling you the truth.
One that conveniently paints you as innocent.
You presented an opportunity. Oh, to taste the sweet, sweet blood of a hero once again. It's a problem. I've been working on it, I really have.
Oh, Medusa.
Well, what of you? The only reason I knew Calliope was going to the reliquary is because you informed me.
Well,
Oh, is that so?
it is true. But Grace, I can explain.
I'll bet you can. Let's put a pin in that for the moment, shall we?
I am a monster. It's true, I do not deny it. It's still, I did not kill the muse.
You haven't told Athena any of this?
Now, don't make me charm it out of you, my dear.
I told her Calliope was at the reliquary that night. I did not tell her I was also there.
Why not? Wouldn't Athena find out from Hecate anyway?
I was not thinking clearly. I panicked. Lady Athena barely tolerates my presence as it is. If she thought I was involved in any way, if she even suspected.
You followed Calliope to the reliquary. Why were you shadowing her at all?
I am Lady Athena's spy master, yes. Calliope has been trouble from time to time.
Trouble enough to keep an eye on,
I keep watch over every idol who no longer lives in Olympus, but especially Calliope. When I realized she was headed to the reliquary that eve, I followed. I had a duty to Athena.
Did you ever find out why Calliope went there?
I was never close enough to ask. When I drew near to the reliquary, that is when I saw the muse fleeing. She was frightened, bloodied, dying.
A tasty snack for you to hunt down.
I gave chase, yes, but to discover the truth. I knew Lady Athena would wish to know.
That does make sense from your perspective.
I didn't learn the truth until later. And then it was far too late.
Okay, let's say we believe you. For the moment.
Whatever you do, pretty muse, I beg you. Do not tell Athena of my indiscretion. Show mercy. I know what I am horrifies you. It horrifies me as well. I cannot help what I am. I did not ask to be cursed like this.
Indiscretion, huh? It's quite the word for it.
I cannot apologize for my hunger. I can only apologize that I am so very weak in the face of it.
I'll think about it.
I am a lost and cursed thing. No idol. If Lady Athena should learn the truth, I hope you find what you seek, pretty muse. And that we meet again someday. And sing a different song.
Now, before you say anything...
You knew. Right from the start, you knew Calliope was there that night.
Well, yes. She asked for the key and I gave it to her, no questions asked. I never lied to you, Grace. I said I didn't know what became of Calliope at the reliquary, and I didn't. But I wanted to, so I nudged you in the right direction.
Why? Is there some reason you need to know what happened to Calliope?
Is that so strange? Don't we all desire justice?
You sent me to the reliquary because you wanted justice.
I am trying to help, Grace. In my way.
What do you mean, in my way? What way is that?
The way where I don't take all the blame.
What else will I discover, Pan? I'd rather learn it now than later.
I wish I could tell you, Grace. I truly do. Oh, if it isn't, the lovely Grace?
You knew. Right from the start, you knew Calliope was there that night.
Well, yes. She asked for the key and I gave it to her, no questions asked. I told you I didn't know what happened to Calliope, and that's the truth. I did not. So I nudged you in the right direction.
So you were what? Just trying to be helpful? You still aren't telling me something.
What possible reason would I have to?
Tell me, right now.
Medusa learned that Calliope was going to the reliquary because I told her. Now, before you say anything, I had no idea of the fate awaiting our dear muse. And you yourself said Medusa was not responsible. I simply had to know if I'd inadvertently, rather innocently,
sold her out? She came to you for help, and you gave her whereabouts to the highest bidder.
I am trying to help, Grace. In my way.
What do you mean, in my way? What way is that?
The way where I don't take all the blame.
What else will I discover, Pan? I'd rather learn it now than later.
I wish I could tell you, Grace. I truly do.